The VA may not hand out six-packs, but it sure can hand out ratings, especially if you know how to use obesity the right way. Yep, turns out that extra weight from service-connected injuries might actually help your claim. Seriously though, today we're talking about the top 5 VA claims that you can win using obesity as the intermediary step. It's a legit strategy backed by VA law, so if your knees, back, or even mental health took a hit during service and the weight followed, this one's for you. I'm Mr. X. I'm the guy behind the guide, giving you all the information you want to know and need to know about the VA claims process. Stick with me till the end, and you will not be disappointed. Please like, subscribe, we're going to break it down. Because yes, your weight, for once, can help your rating. This is VA Top 5. Okay, so I'm going to do things just a little bit differently today. Okay, we're going to go through everything. We're going to go through the law. First and foremost here, obesity per se is not a disease or injury for the purposes, and therefore may not be service-connected on a direct basis. Got that? Second one, obesity may be an intermediate step between a service-connected disability and a current disability that may be service-connected on a secondary basis or on the basis of aggravation. So it may be. Okay? We're going to take it a couple steps further. So, here we go. To determine whether obesity is an intermediate step between a service-connected disability and the development of a current disability that may be service-connected on a secondary basis, including by aggravation, the following criteria must all be satisfied. Okay? First bullet point, service-connected disability must have caused the veteran to become obese. Second, the obesity as a result of the service-connected disability must have been a substantial factor in the causing of the claimed disability or aggravating the claimed disability. Third, the claimed disability would not have occurred but for the obesity caused by or aggravated by the service-connected disability. Okay? The VA portion here and the manual even breaks down a step further, gives you an example. Here it is. Here's the example. The veteran claimed secondary service connection for hypertension, asserting that inability to exercise from the service-connected back conditions caused obesity, leading to hypertension. So to grant service connection, an adjudicator would have to resolve the following issues. First, whether the service-connected back disability caused the veteran to become obese. 2, if so, whether the obesity as a result of the service-connected disability was a substantial factor in causing hypertension. And 3, whether the hypertension would not have occurred but for obesity caused by the service-connected back disability. Now, these questions are answered in the affirmative. If they all are yes, then the hypertension may be service-connected on a secondary basis. Now, for all of this to come into play, in this example, okay, you just have to apply for the condition. Okay, I'm going to break it down even further here for you to kind of summarize the last 3 slides. Here it is. So, how to prove that intermediary link? You need to show a clear progression. So you have one service-connected disability. Okay, now that condition could be, for your knee, could be for your back, your neck. Okay, now for most of these conditions, I'm going to recommend that it's not hearing loss or tinnitus. Now there may be a situation that it could be applicable, obesity, but off the top of my head right now, I can't think of a single thing of how your tinnitus caused obesity, which then caused something else. The obesity can cause a number of things, but having obesity be that step between tinnitus, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's improbable. So I don't want to waste your time. Okay, so just about any service-connected disability, you have to have that, step 1. 2, did that condition lead to obesity? If so, did that obesity caused or did it contribute to whatever service-connected condition you're applying for? Okay, so there's the VA law breakdown of how obesity is the intermediary step between your service-connected condition and whatever service-connected condition you are applying for. All right, we're going to get through the rest of the top 5 fairly quick because I spent about half my time explaining the VA law and how it's possible for obesity to be that intermediary step. Number 1 on the list, sleep apnea. Okay, it's widely accepted by the VA and by doctors outside the VA that obesity is a major contributing factor in developing obstructive sleep apnea. So if your service-connected condition led to weight gain, so for example, let's say you're service-connected for a low back condition. Due to that low back, if that permitted you from being active or as active as you would like, due to your bad back, you're laid up, you have to rest excessively. And as a result of that, if you gain weight and then you develop sleep apnea as due to that excessive weight gain, then you can claim service connection for sleep apnea as due to your back with obesity being that intermediary step. And that is exactly how I would claim it. So on your 526EZ form, you put I'm claiming sleep apnea secondary to your low back condition with the intermediary step of obesity. I have number 2 on the list here, diabetes. It's similar to sleep apnea in that we're going to use the same low back condition. So, due to your low back condition, if that prevented you from exercising as you normally would, which then resulted in obesity because you couldn't work off that extra weight, and as a result of that weight and excessive calorie consumption, if that caused diabetes, then that is a clear path to which you can claim diabetes as secondary to your low back condition with obesity being that intermediary step. Okay, number 3 on the list, hypertension. Similar to the previous 2, these are all related to obesity. Low back condition prevented you from exercising, which then caused a weight gain. As due to that extra weight, hypertension then developed. Okay, it is all very plausible. It is scientific. This is a natural progression of the disability. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get service-connected for it. You have to have a diagnosis of these conditions, and you got to get the positive nexus. But depending on the evidence that you submit, if you submit that evidence, then it's awfully hard for the VA to ignore. Number 4, joint degeneration, knees, hips, feet. Due to that low back condition, you gained weight. Due to that excessive weight, you started to experience pain in your knees, hips, feet, ankles. Okay, they're all related, or could be related, I should say. Doesn't mean you're going to get service connected for it, but that's exactly how I'd claim it. I have a right knee condition secondary to my low back condition. That alone right there, that's enough. You could get service connected as one to the other. Because if your low back condition causes you to walk a little bit differently, if it affects your gait, is what it's called, then it's widely known that that gait can also affect your knees, hips, feet, ankles, and the lower extremities. But just on the safe side, and here's the pro tip for you, I would put obesity as an intermediary step in between all of that as well. So if you're service connected for a low back condition and you have pain in your hips, knees, feet, ankles, I would claim all of those as secondary to your back and to include obesity as the intermediary step. All right, wrapping it up, number 5 on the list, gastroesophageal reflux disease, or GIRD. Okay, it's commonly known that obese people develop GIRD or have reflux issues. So if you have a low back condition, you gain weight as a result of that weight, and you now have reflux, have that acid reflux, then it is likely, I would say even highly likely, that those conditions are related. Number 5, GIRD. All right, wrapping it up here, and if you stuck with me till the end, I'm going to give you a 6th one. If you've noticed, we haven't talked about mental health. Okay? Now, you have depression or anxiety. Okay, obesity, it impacts your self-image and your lifestyle and can worsen your mental health. So, if you have that low back pain, you can already claim that as a depression secondary to that. And I've seen it service-connected many, many times. But to put a big bow on it, or to help the VA out just a little bit more, what I'm suggesting as well is put obesity as an intermediary step in there. So if you need to file it twice, you can do it on the same claim. Depression, secondary to your low back, one line, and then on your second line put depression, secondary to your low back, with obesity as an intermediary step. And then submit a lay statement talking about how your obesity has impacted your self-image, your lifestyle, worsening mental health symptoms. I think you kind of see my point, okay? In the end, all of these conditions and many, many more, hopefully I've shown that obesity can be that intermediary step. Now, trying to prove that your shoulder condition caused sleep apnea due to obesity, it may be a little bit harder than your low back or your knee. I think it works better with back conditions or lower extremity conditions, your knees, your hips, but it could apply to just about any service-connected condition. Okay, so if you're struggling, if you're wondering how you didn't get service-connected, I would suggest claiming what you would like or whatever condition that you have, and this time claim it as secondary to your service-connected condition with obesity as the intermediary step. Provide the statements, look up some medical journals to see what's in there, to see if anything is applicable, and submit that. These are all things, when added up collectively, go to prove that one condition caused another, okay? And that collective roll up to it, okay? That becomes awfully hard to ignore, or even for the VA. So, if your service-connected condition limited your movement or altered your health, and that led to the weight gain, that weight is more than just a number. It could be a connection. Okay? Have you filed a claim using obesity as an intermediary? Are you thinking about it? Drop a comment. Let me know. Hit that like button and subscribe. And share with a fellow veteran, because we're all in this together. You know, because Uncle Sam might not pay you to lose weight, but he might pay you because you gained it. In the end, remember that the VA world, your gut feeling, might actually be worth a few percentages here. In the end, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know about what you thought, what you would like us to address in the future. I'm Mr. X. This is the VA Top 5.